Your Royal Highnesses, Excellencies, distinguished laureates, and guests. It's an honor, especially as someone from the United States, to offer the laudation for Don and Leah Przofsky. And I salute the wisdom of the jury for recognizing the exceptional quality of the Przofskys' artistic breadth and cultural accomplishments. You've heard a lot about their lives today, and I'm going to tell you some more. Some of the things are the same, but I hope that I'll be able to show you some of the character behind those survivors and those fighters. In thinking about this award, I remembered vividly the day in February 1992 when I first stepped into Don and Leah's studio. It was very different from the one you just saw in Sibiu. 21 years ago, they had a one-room studio assigned by the Art Academy on the second floor of a dilapidated, once elegant, 19th century Beaux-Arts building. It had no heat, intermittent electricity, a common toilet for the building, and a host of homeless dogs seeking shelter from the street and threatening anyone who tried to go up the stairs to their studio. But then, as now, their studio was full of Don's drawings, Leah's sculptures, photographs of both of their performances, boxes of books and papers, piles of newspapers they had produced, plans and projects for installations. Then, as now, they were welcoming and generous. Their energy was palpable and actually electric. And their work was alive with their genuine engagement in the world, even then. Most of all, the significance of their art and aesthetics was as unmistakable as the refinement and sophistication of their thought. While on the surface, Don and Leah, as you've seen, their art and their personalities appear very different. Their similarities, however, run very deep. For example, in her performances of the late 1980s and 90s, Leah soberly addressed the psychological and social consequences of the communist and Ceausescu era. And in her conceptual work, she expressed a hunger for new information and a credulous desire, at that time, only to change Romania, now to change the world. In his drawing and installations, Don confronted the secrecy and repression of the communist era and its cultural affect. Drawings that demonstrated his piercing criticality of politics and his audacious willingness to visualize and verbalize social and cultural hypocrisy. Now, as then, both artists approached art from a determined conceptual position, producing idiosyncratic, personal work augmented by their incisive attention to social and political issues. Both relentlessly examined inequities, injustices, and most of all, insincerity. And no topic has ever been taboo for the Przofskys. While visualizing their intellectual and emotional understanding of the world, they balance their scrutiny of culture with self-criticism and a self-critical attitude that has justifiably earned them international recognition for the integrity and ethical efficacy of their art and their social actions. Don and Leah have never abandoned their keen sense of irony, and both utilize the subversive power of humor in their work. Don, of course, is renowned for his acute sensitivity to human behavior and his analytic yet compassionate and wise satires of human folly and self-contradiction. Leah's humor suffuses her investigations of the eccentric associations of ideas and the irrationality of historical objectivity. Neither artist suffers fools lightly, And both are as suspicious of sentimentality and praise as they are duplicity and equality, and you can only, in inequality, and you can only imagine how much trouble I will get in after this for giving them so much praise. Don and Leah Przewalski were both born in 1961. They met as children, fell in love in their teens, and married in 1983. Many years of hardship and living apart followed. While Don did mandatory military service, attended the Art Academy in Iași, and worked in a museum in Oradea. They remained apart when, finally, admitted in 1987, Leah attended the Bucharest Art Academy after being blacklisted since 1983 for entrance to any Romanian art academy. Why? Her offense was having openly addressed corruption in a factory where she was painting ornamental Christmas balls. Once in the Bucharest Art Academy, Leah courageously organized collective happenings. You saw one today with the strings, earning her reputation even then as a nonconformist leader. Both artists participated in the revolution, sneaking out at night under the cover of dark to give blood for people in the hospital. After the revolution, when Leah was approached to take a position in the newly organized youth department of the new Romanian Ministry of Culture, she nominated Don instead. He was hired, and they were finally reunited in Bucharest. Don then soon began making his now world-renowned, large-scale, site-specific drawing installations, which have changed the very conception of what drawing can be worldwide. I think Don single-handedly has done this. He also published drawings and writings in Revista 22, a cultural magazine established by Romanian dissidents who founded the group of Social Dialogue, to which Don still belongs. Leah challenged the notion of what an archive actually is or might be, going on to make the maps that you've seen today, and asking how the mind charts relationships gleaned from all manner of contradictory information. This work led her to investigate how epistemology itself shapes the individual in society and culture, and by extension shapes the world, and her research led her, as you now know, to the Knowledge Museum, and now she's beginning to work on the very concept of work itself. For nearly 30 years, this couple has, as you now also know, invited all manner of people to their studio, but not just intellectuals and artists and poets and theater people, but the public. Everyone was welcome in their studio. They have been tirelessly teaching, organizing exhibitions, writing and publishing, as well as making art. And you know that they also designed a series for Romanian television in 2000. But what you didn't hear today about that series was that it presented the general Romanian public with the most radical art I've ever seen on television and could not even be shown in the United States. In the 21st century, Don and Leah have ceaselessly traveled throughout the world, addressing hard truths of a global changing community. Without pretense or moralizing, and with humor and self-effacement, these two gifted artists have made art dedicated to our evolving human condition, internationally recognized for their artistic originality, their ferocious authenticity, their dignity and integrity, as well as their commitment and dedication of their lives to art and society. The Przewalskis are the real ambassadors of European culture, as well as citizens of the world, who have changed the way we understand the very purpose of art in society. It has been a profound privilege to work with Don and Leah for over 2 decades, and I have the great joy of commending them for their art today. Thank you.